Hello and welcome back to another episode of TCN. Today we are finally back from our little prolonged time away. We've got a new kind of area set up here, and I have decided that I'm gonna smoke it up right. First review back, we are smoking Cohiba's Behike. Overall speaking, what research I could find, it looks like the Behike's tobacco is grown in this western region of Cuba. But end of the day, it's a Cuban Puro. Going over that dry puff, it's got this nice savory, nutty profile with a nice kind of wood undertone that isn't too prominent, but just enough to remind you it's there. Starting off the first there, we get beautiful notes of roasted nuts, hot pepper, wood with subtle earthy tones, and a light cocoa kind of bitter, almost savoriness. As we get in the second third, you start to see it develop as that cocoa becomes this beautiful dark chocolate, still forward with that nice kind of roasted nut flavor profile, while the earth and the wood become very subtle, as well as that hot pepper. Light note of cacao, roasted nuts, a little bit of that earthy hot pepper flavor, but the wood really becomes the main player, and it is beautiful. It doesn't come off oily or too harsh. It's just a beautiful, pleasant wood flavor profile. And ranking the cigar, it was phenomenal, much better than my very first Cuban in my opinion. They were both good, but this one is phenomenal. I maybe just because I like darker cigars. At the end of the day, I'd give this one something like a 91. It was delicious. It was smooth. To me, it was savory almost. I love savory stuff. I'd have this with like a steak. Going over notes, the construction and the draw were both great. There was one thing I have to notice though. The burn was a little wobbly. I found myself canoeing. I found myself having to touch up. But at the same time, I found the flavor completely unaffected by any touch up, relight, or just anything that the burn was causing. It was still a phenomenal tasting cigar, even with a burn problem. Price range, you can't pick these things up here. Looking around online, they gauge in price to about, 290 bucks to the $500 range. So it is a pricey cigar. I'm very glad this was gifted to me. I'm glad that I was able to experience this cigar, and I don't know if I can personally say that it's worth it. If you could find it at a much better value, I think I'd even pay 80 bucks for a cigar like this, but anything over 100 feels like you're just getting ripped off. I hope the background looks good. I'm sorry I made you guys wait, but you know what? February is over. We're starting this up, and we are starting up the new year right, even knowing we're 2 months into it. Besides the point, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your support, and I will see you all next time.